Kilpailussa mukana Ramirent. Kotikatsomon eväät tarjoaa Kotipizza.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the round one back nine of the third stop on the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour here in Turku, Finland. This coverage is brought to you by Natural Born Disc Offer. Thank you guys for sharing this with us here at Gatekeeper Media. And this commentary is brought to you by Parked Podcast. My name is Mitch Phillips. Joining me is Hayden Riccard. Talk to me about the front nine.
Front nine was good. Had some high numbers here and there, but also had Henna play clean. And if she can do it on the back nine, she's going to put up some numbers for a while. And I don't think the chase is out for Eveliina. I know she's going to push hard.
Yeah, only one back. Hayden only three back.
Yeah. And not saying Tinja or Olivia are out of it. It's just got to make some changes, change some putts up, and then maybe change some disc selection.
Yeah, and it's refreshing to finally, our first course on this tour so far.
It's not brutal.
Yeah, where you can actually score. Yeah. You can continue to stay under par on the back nine. Started off on the back nine here with hole 10.
Par 3, 279 feet, looking at another one under the 300 feet, but
very technical.
It's very technical to get out because it is such a tight hallway. Eveliina here going with the forehand, which we've seen her do on holes like this before.
Yeah, she goes a little bit nose up, just gets away from her a bit. We've also seen the backhand here with kind of a flex play.
With the early, but late flip up.
Yep. Or a force over. And looks like that's what she was going for.
That can happen.
Holds on just a little tight.
I like the backhand more than the forehand here.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that you get a true force over shaped hole with the backhand, but yeah, as we see,
Olivia plays this
looks perfect.
Great.
Misses. Oh, she catches the last tree available. And when you line up on that left side of the tee pad, it honestly becomes almost a straight shot. Yeah, as you see Tinja go for...
What is this roll?
Oh my God.
What is this roll? There's no way that should have happened off that tee like that.
She just rolled another 150 feet forwards. I mean,
it's giving her a look.
Yeah, you can hear the wind. You can hear the wind really picking up. So, I mean, why not? Henna kind of an awkward spot here, having to skip forwards, and she gets it into the circle.
And Eveliina here trying to hit the gap, put it close. Oh, yeah.
Kind of a weird approach there, having to be in between shots, but deciding to go with more of the turnover shots. Great approach there. Backed up against the tree, all wrist.
That's tough.
Great execution there, though.
Olivia here for the birdie look. Oh, do it.
Let's go! Olivia Kindstedt running it down. You see the Anheuser out of the hand, full commit, flipping up and putting it home. What a phenomenal
Look at the excitement
putt
on her face.
Yeah, what an incredible putt there from Olivia. Just truly letting the disc do all of the work there. Full flight from outside the circle. What a way to start off the back nine.
Yeah, and congratulations, well deserved.
Yeah, there's that true Heiser push putt for par there. And as this wind picks up, it's going to be interesting to see the difference in putting between Henna and Eveliina. That's usually the separation between these two players. I mean, they're only 1 to 2 points of difference in each other in their PDGA rating.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're constantly battling, but there is these minor differences in their play styles that, depending on the conditions, can come and bite them here and there. But let's move on to hole 11, par 4, 689 feet. Out of bounds the entire left side of this fairway. Your goal is going to be able to make it through this gap and approach the green. But a couple shots leading up to it, we're going to see a couple different plays, maybe a hyzer over the trees trying to just land. But with this wind picking up, probably going to see more of the straight to flip up play. But if you throw too understable, this right here, you're going to be on that right side. Too overstable, you're going to find the out of bounds. So this fairway is very long, but is a comfortable width where it doesn't come into too much, but it kind of edges you on to push too far down when really you can break it up into a couple shots and have an easy shot through the gap for par.
You can, and you're going to see this happen as well. I mean, here's another one that's just a little bit too much and pushing it in. She got far.
Yeah.
but we'll see what she has to look on the backside over there. And like you said, definitely don't want to do the hyzer, because then if you have wind, it's going to push it over towards that OB. So you're going to have more of a flip up.
This looks really good if it can get down.
Yeah, it needs to get down real quick.
Oh, and it does find the out of bounds there, but got a lot of distance. She's going to be almost looking down the hallway, so being able to maybe keep par in play. Oh, and that would have been really solid, just catching that first tree, but still putting her in the middle of the fairway, being able to pitch up, get to the edge of the corner, and then be able to look through the gap. If you want to get really aggressive, maybe a roller, but there's really no need here. Going with the anhyzer to try to make the corner. I mean, yeah, even catching late, it's still putting her in a
That's
really
a good result.
easy spot. Yeah,
That's a really good result.
yeah. So, I mean, if that fight's all the way through, that was the right shape to make it all the way to the pin. So
Olivia having to go with forehand.
just a bit too much
Going through
on
the
it.
back route. She might have a gap.
Yeah, if they're kind of
Maybe take a knee. And Eveliina
Yeah, just
is in a tough spot.
I believe she's going to a knee, but the grass may just be that high where she's actually standing. Ooh, catching a multiple
Playing
trees.
ping pong.
But you can see how far she filtered down there, though.
Yeah, she can get. If Henna can get up and down, yeah.
Yeah, to be able to save par
Save
out
par.
of bounds off the drive. What an
Sit.
approach.
Oh my gosh.
At this,
Low ceiling. She kept the plane perfect, playing with the ground. That was great.
yeah,
Just catching early as Olivia.
yeah, and she didn't make it nearly as far through there. And just a really clean played hole on here in 11 for Tinja. I mean, that look for par. Catching early, but being able to shape that anhyzer shot to put herself in a good spot. But let's go to Olivia here from a knee, trying to save. She's dialed so far on this back nine with that putt from distance.
I'd like to see it happen more than once.
Yeah. And speaking of
We've
dialed,
seen her go up and down.
yeah, it's that
I wonder
confidence.
what's going on, but she's still 2 under.
Mhm.
Well, now 1 under, but
Yeah, she does have that ankle brace on that front
did
foot,
notice that.
And maybe as she's with her push putt, it is that big weight shift, maybe some discomfort coming through. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but
you know she can recover.
yeah,
She's
100%. She's a
she's
great
done
putter.
it before. She can do it again.
Yep. It'll be the unfortunate bogey there, but again, I mean, walking away from a hole like that where she is still feeling it from range, and
It's playing almost a half stroke over par.
yeah,
It can be difficult. And as we go into hole 12, par 3, 400 feet, getting to that almost max distance.
yeah,
So
very
you-
downhill though.
That is true. So you can carry much. You do have to watch your wind adjustment here as you get into this open field from a wooded tee pad. So, I mean, you probably see a lot of the players land up a little short and probably play mostly for par.
Yeah, and even disking down to a mid-range, something that has a lot of glide, a lot of control, is not a bad decision here either, because this right here, you get the distance, but then you have a really big skip and you flare, and you don't have a look for a putt whatsoever, which is okay because it is going to be, you know, a pretty simple pitch out, but the hyzer flip play can get
Flipped
away
up
from
a
you as
little
well.
bit too much, but sneaks through. Is in circle 1.
What?
I think she's going to be surprised on this one when she
Yeah.
sees the result.
If
She
you're-
might have a low ceiling to play with, but to be able to sneak through like that, that is awesome.
Yeah, definitely unexpected.
Olivia trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, just a
but
little bit
gets
too low.
A little short.
That's going to be one where, you know, if you're playing a practice round, solo round, you're looking for a long time, and then you kind of give up. You walk down and go, oh, heck yeah, I'm in the circle.
And Henna going
Here's a
for
true
it all.
hyzer flip. Staying on
But watch
angle,
the
though.
skip. Yep.
Be in a similar position to Eveliina. Just catching it on the way out. Such a odd stance. Go the forehand up shot, but Oh, still just right on it. Cameraman having to jump it. Yeah, that's
She's feeling a little dialed from that outside circle, inside circle edge.
Oh, wow, and Eveliina having a look. That is so surprising with how much these trees are low-hanging. Let's see if Henna has a look as well. She does.
She does.
Yeah, but from a straddle, that's a little bit more obstructed.
It's tough.
Oh, and just kicking out left. That would have definitely been something you can get away with when you do have the course kind of be in your favor all of a sudden. Being able to
give you a little bit of good luck there, kind of.
Yeah, gonna have to settle for
But still
par.
good momentum.
For sure. Yeah, what a great design hole, though. I mean, being able to kind of change the disc selection up, going to something a little bit slower, even though it is 400 feet. It's that glidey, touchy shot down a hill. I really like this hole and the different perspectives it brings, different approaches.
I'd like to see if any of them decide to disc down and don't take that skip into play.
But I mean, there's how many trees are there. You can also see, hey,
you could get a kick back,
and you roll right back towards
take
the basket.
your chances back.
Yeah, it's kind of chancing it and using the course to your advantage. But we're gonna see 3 pars there and a bogey. Moving on to hole 13, par 4, 535 feet. One of the most technical par 4s here on the course. Shot's going to be an overstable fairway driver, maybe a driver, try to match the angle of this hill and just skip up. If you can see the basket on this second shot, you're in business. But the approach here, not too big of a deal, but getting to this open green area is where the difficulty lies.
It is a landing spot, par 4.
Yep. And the height comes into play there, but kicks are straight down. Yeah, there's really not much variance of what you can and can't do. I mean, this is such a just defined shot off the tee to be able to make this corner. And just thankfully not rolling. We do see some of these hit the tree and roll quite some distance. But if you can match that angle, get that skip and that rotation continuing up the hill, you can get some serious distance on this drive.
It's a little early out of the hand from Henna, but
these will filter, though.
Problem. They can filter, and that one does.
Wow, even a roll out to the right, she's going to be looking directly
Probably
at the
a
basket.
Step out forehand. She may even have a backhand to it.
Yep. Olivia to match. Yeah, you can see
up.
that's the result for the most time when you go the inside route. Henna definitely getting a little lucky, but you can see how many trees. Not really even sure where to look here.
That's a great play getting out. She's on the edge of the fairway coming out. Still's going to have a look.
Yeah,
step out
like
forehand.
Turnover. Yeah, step out forehand, turnover backhand, but trying to maybe bite off a little bit too much. It's a forward kick, though.
It is, but she's into a more guarded position, I think.
Yeah. Bringing that height into play. Yeah, and finally getting to where maybe her drive was expected to be. So she's going to have a straight look at it. We'll see how Tinja decides to attack here.
Looks like turnover through that left side gap.
Little air bounce out. Be just short, but as the wind picks up, those putts are going to get more difficult from that circle's edge.
So Henna opting for the hyzer play into the green.
Yeah, and she tends to do this when she goes to that patent pending. She has that hyzer angle dialed. It's pretty rare to see her throw an anhyzer out of that stance. Just kind of makes more sense with her weight shift coming through. It's pretty unique. Oh, and she caught on the back, didn't she, on that reach back?
I think she caught the back end on her reach back.
Yeah, maybe playing a little bit too slow or too fast.
Caught it and let go too early. That is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just taking advantage of it. Really good approach there from Olivia. And I mean, that's going to be a tap and par.
Yeah.
But very out of character there for Eveliina to play really quick and not really check the surroundings. Going to be a bogey here.
And sometimes you can check and then it come into more play because then maybe you reach back a little bit further than you anticipated.
Yeah. Good height, just a little bit right side there for Tinja. Oh, and she completely thought it was in, but that was just low, dead center
we've
pull.
Seen that before.
Yeah, and then the opposite effect here, not enough. These chains being a little bit heavier gauge. Man, that's 2 in a row there. I mean, just a little bit left side there for Tinja, but there's no reason that shouldn't stick.
Yeah, hole 13, giving them some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
One finishing almost a whole stroke over par.
Yeah, at 0.8.
Which makes sense because of the difficulty getting to where you need to.
Yeah.
And then getting out.
Yeah, or I mean, the basket just robbing you of a birdie there. That's unfortunate for Henna, but being able to shake it off, knowing that's happened to other players, and we've seen it consistently. So move on to hole 14, Hayden.
Got a par 3 and another one under 300 feet, 259. We've seen over the top. We've seen forehands coming to this. We've seen the flex Anheisers. We've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
I think these players are going to go with the standstill forehand, like you see here, Henna going with, trying to turn it and get it to fight back. Just a little bit too much turn and push in there.
Yeah, and the danger comes too if you do disc up to a faster disc,
skip.
Going to that standstill, it is very downhill. We saw as players try to go over the top, in previous rounds, you definitely, in practice as well, when you're going over the top, it'll hit and roll really far.
Bounce.
So
it wasn't even a roll. It was a bounce.
Yeah, if you do go over the top with that grenade. So I believe we're going to see most of these players go with a flex forehand through the middle. Sneaking on the backside.
And Eveliina was able to sneak through.
But does push a little bit long. Thankfully doesn't strike the cameraman there.
It was close.
And Tinja going to the backhand here. Nice understable, controlled disc.
Just a little early. It might have helped her.
Yeah.
I think kick out may have a better look at the basket.
Mm-hmm. I like the backhand here. It kind of approaches the green when it gets there with a good speed, a good angle to not continue down the hill.
Look where Olivia is, just to play the gap.
Oh my gosh, what wizardry.
What
Sit down.
Touch.
Sit down. Please stop rolling. Just stop rolling, please.
It doesn't want to listen.
Oh, and she goes all the way to circle's edge after hitting an insane gap.
If that sits, that's a great up and down.
Like we just said, this is a fast green, but great touch, but just an unfortunate result. Hoping this one's going to sit as well. Yep. Out of her hand there, making sure it's realizing that needs a speed control check.
You have those ones, you're like, slow down.
Especially when you just watch someone else do that. Yeah. Just putting it close.
Yeah, no need.
Mm-hmm.
Eveliina has a look here. Just a tight window.
Right height. It's tough to keep that disc straight out of the hand with not really much movement on the right side being blocked off, but outside the circle she rolled all the way and just left.
And
sit down.
Yeah,
thankfully that one doesn't get up
it rolled and curled a little bit back towards the basket.
Yeah. Good par there. Yeah. And other than the double bogey there on 13, it's been a really clean back nine for Tinja, making some corrections on that front nine. She was just a little bit off. So it's good to see those corrections already coming through this early in the tournament.
That's maybe just jitters at the beginning, starting a tournament. Everyone has them, but you got to deal with it in some way or the other.
Right.
Get them out early.
And the unfortunate bogey, after such a great approach, but being that it's a slope green, she did throw more of a wider rim disc. It can stand up and roll a little bit easier than the putter. But yeah, it's just unfortunate there for Olivia.
Take us to hole 15, Mitch.
Yeah, hole 15, par 3, 328 feet. Going to find the out of bounds left the entire fairway. It's going to loop around the backside as well. Play here is going to be probably a backhand turnover, being able to climb the hill with that nose up, letting the disc turn the entire way. If you adjust yourself on the T-pad, you can go more of a straight shot, but really making sure that disc finishes right.
You see,
it's the biggest thing.
You have a left to right wind, tailwind. So this may look fantastic.
Yeah, she's going to be on that right side. But if you push it too far right, there are those really large kind
shrubs.
Of tree/shrub. That's a little tall for a shrub. It's like a tree/shrub. We'll look it up and let you know in the later rounds what kind of trees those are.
Halfway through its life, and then it becomes a tree. There you go.
There you go.
And
young shrubbery. This looks great, but a little bit low.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if you put too much turn on as that wind picks up, I mean, being that it's downhill, you can see the cut roll into the out of bounds, but very touchy shot going uphill and out of bounds left. I mean, it's kind of both sides of the coin. I like the higher play if you do throw an understable disc, let it work over, kind of reach the furthest distance you need and then start fading, but it is a touchy shot with that wind coming in.
Yeah, you don't want to throw something too unstable and let it flip and roll. That's the hardest thing there, is getting the height correct. It's you're uphill the whole way. It almost plays maybe 340 or so.
If not more.
If not more. So that's the touchiest part. So you're going to end up short a lot of the time.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you're going to that understable disc, trying not to go out of bounds, so then you're turning it too much. I mean, it's a very, very touchy drive, but the approach here is going to be important to put it close because this is a sloped green. It's out of bounds long. Yeah. Asking for it to come back. That's a great shot.
Yeah, just slow down just enough. Sat right next to it.
Olivia from a similar distance. Great height coming into that as well. Almost giving these a little bit of a run, kind of that nose up floater. Definitely a run there.
Yeah, that was
Eveliina. And Henna being eye level with the basket. Really good here. Just low. It's a hard putt to run, though, with it sloping down the out of bounds if she pushes too far.
I think she was worried about the roll back around.
For sure. But going to be a lot of pars here on hole 15. Pretty expected. Very difficult basket to attack.
Playing a half stroke over par.
Yeah, a hole that's going to see some a lot bigger numbers once that wind picks up and these rounds continuing. Star par here on 15.
Moving into hole 16, par 3, 266 feet. This one is another go-getter, go after the birdie, put it up close. I believe you're going to see fairways, more controlled fairways, and mid-ranges here.
Yeah, the fairway really just being able to cut through the wind and not have the deviation. Be able to throw more of a spike shot.
It's a little bit, it's pin high, just a little bit off to the right.
Yeah, going to a fairway driver at 266 feet, though, it's not a full shot. It's that kind of 50 to 60% pull, but knowing that you're disking up to be able to control that movement. More of a direct line here.
It's going to be kind of a tester, especially with the drop-off behind the basket.
Yeah, this basket's just a little bit raised, but not enough to really bring in too much worry. But a hole, I mean, it's right there in front of you, 266 feet.
Getting
catches.
An early kick. It's going to be tough. She's going to have to put it up close and really control how her angle comes in on that green.
This looks more, but just get pushed down.
It looked
by
like
the
it was
wind.
almost getting a wind bounce,
but then
it just pushed back down.
Yeah, and you can hear that wind kind of picking up here. It's going to be an interesting, just technical approach here for Tinja.
And that's going to be inside probably of that little guardian tree. And you can hear that wind as you come uphill for Olivia.
Yeah, it's a distance where she kind of was running them earlier in this 9, but knowing that it could roll away with those, No cinder blocks there. It's not really worth it. But Eveliina, great putt from mid-circle 1. Bringing herself under par, tying it up with 2 holes to play here in the first round. And Henna having to go to a knee, just full stretch out. Yeah, that's such a tough spot. Similar here for Tinja. It's got to be such a nose up, just like
It's
push.
so hard to, because you don't want to keep it so nose up because the wind could catch it and flare it back off the basket if you don't hit the chains.
Right. Yeah, knowing that one of those has popped out before, taking her time a little bit more. Yeah, and Eveliina taking the sole birdie here, and fortunate bogey, just pushing a little bit long in the approach, catching early, just a tiny bit off as Tinja finds a bogey.
Other than those two, she's playing pretty clean.
Yeah, it's been a good back 9 for Väisänen. Jumping to hole 17, par 4, 600 feet. You need to hit one of these 35 gaps and then try to work yourself to the right side of this fairway to be able to open up this second shot. It's a really tough approach. This green is so fast and so guarded. If you're not within about 45 feet, you're really just going to be laying up. So the forehand here really does shape it well if you can kind of match the hill and work yourself down and then finish up on the right side, get you a better look. But so difficult to continue forwards without hitting any of these trees.
And the mistake is going left. It's going to be downhill, maybe a little bit obstructed, and you're going to have a huge uphill to reach the next gap.
Yep, and just a little bit early.
I think that kicked left too.
You're gonna see what she has, and she finds out of bounds on the road.
Oh my! I didn't know it kicked that far.
If this can continue right.
This looks great.
Yep, throwing that understable fairway, putting yourself on the right side, letting it filter down. It's a really good shot. Still a lot of distance left. Just a little bit early, but does kick straight into the middle of the fairway. That'll probably be a pitch
to see where
up,
Henna goes. Oh, here she is. Okay, so she's got to go uphill.
Yeah, probably just trying to pitch
reach
up
a
to the
fairway.
top, maybe? Yeah.
That's such a hard line.
It's a forward skip as well, so she'll be kind of where she was planning on landing off the drive, but still, I mean, trying to get onto the green from there is no easy task.
Ooh. Calling out the cameraman, make sure he's aware it's coming right at him.
That's exactly where she wants to be. I mean, being at the base of the
I think
hill.
she wants a little bit more distance, but this needs... I think that was a great kick. I think that was going OB if she didn't.
Yeah, those are tough when you're angled down. Yeah.
I mean, here's another one that she has to go with.
Multiple tree hits again. I mean, just that this hole is so touchy if you're not in the exact spots to be able to attack. Ooh, big roll. Hoping that didn't curl all the way into the left side there and to be blocked off, but with how thick that grass was, I'm assuming it probably did stop. We'll find out here in a second as we see Henna's approach into the green, hopefully. Wow.
Great angle control. That is right next to the basket.
Taking an overstable disc, matching the hill, and then letting it hit that main
and on a standstill
and then fade. That's her most comfortable standstill for sure. I mean, she can really find that
and a lot of them go with that.
Yeah. Similar shape here from Eveliina.
And another one.
Wow.
I think the tree kick helped her a little bit, but still, the angle control into that green
to throw a fairway driver
and throw in fairway is impressive.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you can see the rest of our card here struggling to even get close to the green. I mean, those are two incredible
Set yourself
approaches.
up in a good spot, then you have a better angle to approach.
Yeah.
Which is always true, but take advantage of it when you can.
Really good touch forehand.
Ooh, yep, and a little bit of skip into circle one.
Scary putt, but definitely where she needs to be able to stop the bleeding here.
Yeah, and just putting it close is Tinja. Not messing with that fast green.
Not at all.
Great hold.
Yeah, what a great play here on 17. Good drive, a little bit off on the approach, but being able to correct it with a really good approach in the green. Same here for Eveliina. I mean, cannot say enough about these approaches from Eveliina and Henna. I mean, taking a fairway driver with so much angle control to know when that disc is going to fade back, being that it is overstable, and slow down to put it this close on such a fast green.
I mean, for a bogey, she was
OB immediately off the tee.
Really, if you go OB immediately off tee, you're looking at double bogey or worse.
Yeah.
It was fantastic work.
Tinja does find the double bogey as we move into the last hole here.
Hole 18, 230 feet, par 3 with OB all the way around. So we've got an island hole here. And this one is something you want to get going into the next round. You want to feel comfortable with a birdie, take a stroke off the card, and go home.
Yeah, and it's really player's choice here, whatever you feel most confident in to be able to control the speed when it lands. Some players even try to go short of it, kind of straight skip into it, as we see Eveliina probably do that here. Yep.
Perfect.
Really great shot. And that's her preferred, shot that kind of...
She loves the forehand.
Yeah, that Firebird, be able to go right into the green. This is about the range that she reaches for that, so the forehand here tends to skip straight instead of, maybe all the way to the right. This needs to go.
A little low and great skip up.
Going to be a long putt, but...
Hey, it's not out of bounds.
Yeah. Henna just making sure the basket's still there. I'm just kidding. She's just checking to see
where
distance.
the OB is in the distance. Throwing the putter, stand still.
That's her natural approach,
she loves these hyzers. And it's
almost
great to see.
Giving it an ace run, and it catches
stop.
it. Yep.
And I love to see the difference between Eveliina and Henna on these shots and how they both are opposite, but they're still putting it and competing with each other.
Yeah. More of the straight approach here. This needs to skip straight. Just catching it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and even the difference of Olivia's shot. She went to more of a approach speed disc where, on the forehand for Eveliina, it was the Firebird, that kind of, faster fairway. So it definitely, this hole really does bring in whatever you feel confident in to control the speed once it hits the ground. But let's go circle's edge here to Olivia. Great commit, but just high. Thankfully, it wasn't too high, or definitely would have skipped off the top of the basket. But weird stance here, last part of the round. Yeah.
That's been happening to her all day. I think coming in the next round, she's going to focus on her putting
and
try to capitalize.
Basket tonight.
Yes. And great putt.
Yeah, unfortunate bogey. But it's common. Being that it is an island hole, it's no paradise.
Downhill throws are deceiving.
Yeah.
Super deceiving, especially when you have OB in an island green.
Mm-hmm. And Henna taking her time there, knowing that's a distance that these baskets have really been just not really liking her putt, but we'll finally get to Eveliina's park job. Not taking anything for granted, knowing she's hitting this, taking a 2-stroke lead. Yep, good birdie.
Great birdie to finish out the round.
And the only birdie of the round. Surprising, but also, the difficulty of 18 is not the distance.
It's not. It's the OB
control.
and control, landing safe, and making your putts.
Yep, let's check in with the leaderboard here. Henna at even, which is a great score. Only 2 bogeys.
They both have 2 bogeys.
But the difference being that back 9, Eveliina being able to correct and get to the only player under par. Rounding out our lead card for tomorrow, Eveliina and Anna Sofia Hypus. Not too far behind, but again, we jump into these top 10. You're seeing in the 20s, still staying in the top 10. Very touchy course when the wind comes into play.
Yes. And we'll see what they can do on the next round.
Yeah, the weather's definitely looking like it's going to get a little bit more intense. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's jump into the second round here. It's been a pleasure. I'm loving this course. It's a nice refresher from being at Helsinki and Tampere, but great course so far here in Turku. Be sure to follow us over on Instagram at Parked Podcast, and we will see you for the second round here in Turku.
Peace.